3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding. These guys are awesome when it comes to roofing needs, but also siding and renovation. They do gutters. These are year-round issues, and Integrity Roofing and Siding is there for you 24/7 year-round. Need a roofer? Our roofer is Integrity Roofing and Siding, 210-340-7663. 210-340-7663. The official roofing company of 3 Cents Podcast is Integrity Roofing and Siding.
We have made it, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. It is January 2nd. It is a Tuesday. And it's cold outside.
Super cold.
I don't know about you. I mean, I see Mike and LG in their short sleeves.
Well, it's a little cooler than I thought it would be in this room.
No, that's fine.
It's on LG.
I don't think we have.
Who's in charge of the
We don't have
thermostat?
heating. We have AC in this room, but we don't
Okay.
have a heating. I don't think.
I'm comfortable.
No, it's fine.
But
It's fine.
I'm not cold.
Better than-
I came packing with. I came here layered
Layers.
up.
You got
I
layers.
just took
You
it
got
off when I
layers.
got here. I wore a
Okay.
sweater with a big giant army jacket over the
Nice.
top of it. Very insulated, old school army jacket, and it's what is it? It's got to be in the 50s. But
I
it's so-
think the car said like 48 on my way in.
yeah, it's dreary, and we
it's,
got rain coming.
It's caldo weather, I guess.
miserable.
Rain coming, yeah. So
Yeah, it's awful.
let me acknowledge our colleague Cleto Rodriguez not with us here today. So we did not let go of him during the holidays, or there's no announcement to be made. He just couldn't be with us
He
today.
sharded and had to turn around and go home.
I wasn't going to say it, but
That's a real emergency.
that's
if
one
that
way
happens.
to put it. Better him be at home.
It's 50, by the way.
than
50
be here.
degrees.
50
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah.
Feels,
Okay.
But I bet it feels colder than that.
It does. It's
like
there's a
it's uncomfortable.
biting wind out of the north. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, Mike Taylor is here. LG is here. Ernie Zuniga at your service for the next half hour and change. As we continue on, this is a 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding. And so we're now a couple of days removed from New Year's Eve. Hopefully everybody got through it okay. And I wonder how you guys spent your New Year's Eve.
We went out,
Uh-huh.
but got home early. You know, I think I've said this before. My days of staying out late
Yeah.
are very few and far between. I'm 49. I can't be at the club, you know what I mean, till 2 a.m. I just don't think you should do that.
Yeah.
Now, okay, there are exceptions. New Year's Eve being one of them.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Last year, how many times was I out past midnight? Maybe a few, 3 to 4 tops.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We went and saw a fight. We saw Mario Barrios fight at the Alamo Dome. That was cool.
Nice.
That kept us out because
Nice.
we didn't caravan. We rode this big party bus with some buddies.
Nice.
And so Nina and I, we knew, okay, we're going to be out late, so let's act young tonight.
Oh.
Right. And then New Year's Eve the other night, we were like, let's not act that young. So we went to a buddy's house. She lives downtown, kind of. He lives off Broadway, where they've made Graham Weston has made all these different massive apartments, and all these different real estate moguls have just made that inner Broadway area just look like New York City. So we went and hung out there with a buddy of mine. Had a couple of drinks at a place called Porta Rosa.
Okay.
I think it's Italian, Porta Rosa.
Porta Rosa.
Porta Rosa.
Do you have a little vino?
It was great. No, I had beer.
Okay.
and asada tacos.
Oh,
but the place was good. They had a food truck outside, so I didn't eat Italian food, but cool ambiance. Went to my buddies, got to tour his place. He lives right over the river. Beautiful
Nice.
view of downtown. He and his girlfriend hung out with them, and then around 10:30, it's like, good to see y'all. Love you hard. Thanks for the food. Thanks for the beer. Thanks for the tour. And we were home by 11.
Wow.
And stayed up, though. I didn't go to bed till 1. And we put hats on, and I popped a bottle of champagne at our home, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing
guess
on the
I'm
way
not
home.
cool.
No, you're not. Listen, I stayed within walking distance of my house
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night. When it was all those years that I had to go to bed early, and I could never sleep when I had to go to work for New Year's Day, get up at 2:30. You could never sleep through all the illegal fireworks that were being popped.
Those started the day before.
Yeah, I was going to say, they started early. They started earlier this year. But a shout out to everybody on Facebook. We have some people joining us here. If you have any illegal fireworks stories to tell, or
I
anything,
do.
or anything,
course.
anything to pass along. Hopefully, you're having a fine start to your 2024. I gave up doing fireworks a few years ago because we had too many close calls. My in-laws live in Pleasanton, so it's out in the country, perfectly legal to do fireworks out there.
Yeah.
And we would do that during 4th of July or New Year's Eve. And the fireworks stand, they would set it up walking distance from their house. And so it was very easy. But there were a couple of times where fireworks that tipped over and came after my kids, or
Whoa.
I had a not so proud moment years ago when I was holding one of my kids and I had a bottle rocket in my hand.
That's brutal.
I thought it was a Roman candle. So I'm doing like the Statue of Liberty and I'm holding it up like this. So I have my daughter, I believe, in my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking Roman candle. So it's poof, 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 6 little pops. And at the last possible second, when it was realized that I had a bottle rocket in my hand, and said I threw that thing away with a second or two to spare. And so I gave up.
I used to have a scar right here on my hand.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. It's very, very
I don't see it.
light now,
Okay.
but it's there. Somehow it's. I can see it because I know where it used to be, but it's gone down. Thank God. But it was prominent for 20 years. Black cats, letting black cats go off while holding them like a jackass.
No.
We'd shoot each other with bottle rockets. This is as a
Back in the
dumbass
day.
teenager.
Back in the day.
There was a time my Uncle Philip, who was a 50-year-old, 18-year-old, my Uncle Philip went out to the country and bought a giant box of bazooka ammo, stuff that I'm not even sure really
Is it
should
street
be
legal?
sold
Is it
anywhere, much less the country,
Right.
much less the city. Brings it back to her in Fort Worth, living literally almost downtown. I could hit the downtown buildings with a golf ball. So he comes with a big box of explosives, and we're just going to town on them. Fort Worth cop drives up, woo, confiscates the entire box we had just started to.
Oh my god.
He spent like $150 on fireworks. $150. This is mid-'80s.
Back then, that's a lot of money.
And so the cop takes the stuff, gives my uncle a citation, drives off. My uncle and his brother, other uncle, jump in the truck, drive back out to the country, come back an hour and a half later with another box full of the same stuff, and we went to town all night long and got away with it.
Oh.
So I've had some dumbassery with fireworks in my day. But
Yes.
these days, as far as partying, like Nina and I will party, but we don't like to plan it. Okay, next Friday we're gonna go out and stay out all night. We don't do that.
No.
It's got to be spontaneous in the moment. And the last time we stayed out too late, till 3 o'clock in the morning, which was way uncharacteristic. So much so, all my kids were texting me.
Are you okay?
I've got 2 kids in Hawaii, one in Fort Worth, one in here. All 4 were texting, "Daddy, are you good?" They were texting each other, "Daddy never stays out this late. Are we sure he's okay?" Yes. I'm like, "Oh my God, guys, I'm fine." We were out. We were going to go home around 11.
Yeah.
Which is about our done time.
Right.
And then we've got these friends, a couple friend of ours, and they like to party, and we love them, but we have to hang out with them periodically.
Right.
Every day I would be in rehab.
You couldn't handle it.
So
Your
it's like
kidneys couldn't handle
They
it.
texted, "Oh my God, you guys are downtown. We are too. Stay where you are." I'm like, screw it. Because we know when they're coming, we're not going home till late. But it's spontaneous in the moment.
No curfew.
I'm too old anymore to plan these late night parties. So I was at home, man. You can hear all the from your apartment.
No, I probably yawned a couple times like at 10 or 10:30, but I was like, no, I'm
Checked
staying
out
up.
at 1.
I'm staying up this year. Fiesta is probably a time where I might plan something, like if I know like I'm going to go to Nayosa on a certain night, or you're going to be downtown at the parades. Well, you're not going to get home.
Aren't you getting out of there, though, at midnight-ish? You're looking to leave at that point, right?
Well, yeah. But getting an Uber or a parking spot or getting to your vehicle with the massive humanity down there, that's a little tricky sometimes.
I used to be a big New Year's Eve guy, and I guess I'm coming off as a boring dude now. I like to party. I just like to do it early,
Sure.
Back in my 20s and 30s, I loved New Year's Eve, and it was, okay, we're going to stay out all night.
Did you ever go downtown?
Oh, yeah,
San Antonio?
yeah. Rented a giant high-rise over at the Grand Hyatt facing the south because it looks like Beirut, Lebanon. In the middle of the day, it looks like it's so much. There's so many fireworks on the south side, west side, and you can see south and west. There's so many fireworks. There are moments where it looks daytime for a split second. Looks like an atomic
The smoke
bomb.
hangs over the city for hours later.
Yeah,
I remember driving through it. Like I said, not to bring it back to my working the morning show hours, but I would always drive through all that and remember. So
Yeah. No, but we had a good time. Man.
Yeah,
It's
good.
a new year. I feel good about 2024. I don't like odd numbers, Ernie. I have a weird thing.
Really?
I fear odd numbers. I think there's a name for that.
There probably
some
is.
sort of something.
I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Yeah.
But so 2023, were you on pins and needles the whole time, or?
No, I don't. You know, it's funny. I wasn't like wearing. I wasn't wearing a flak jacket
Right.
everywhere, and I wasn't wearing a helmet everywhere I went.
Oh, are you ready for this?
I just don't like odd numbers. I
fear
like
of,
even.
The fear of odd numbers, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right.
All right.
Impernumerophobia. Here, where's the camera?
Let me see. See how it spells.
You see that? Oh,
That
it's
right
not,
there?
It's
Yeah.
not very clear.
Imperonumerophobia.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll take
that-
your
yeah.
word for it.
Impernumerophobia.
I've always been an even-numbered guy. I don't know why. I just am. Even though I was born in the 11th month. This makes no sense because I am a proud Sagittarius.
Yes.
You know what Sagittarius is?
Yes, Sagittarii.
Got man top and horse bottoms. I bet your ass. In all the ways that you can think of. And we're outgoing people, but I still don't like odd numbers. I like even numbers.
Oh my
I'm more
gosh.
comfortable around them. The radio dial in my car, the volume is on an even level. The heat and the AC get put to even. Like, I need to cool down. Let me turn the temperature down. I stop on an even number. I
get
can't
that.
explain it to you.
No, I've done that
It's
before.
OCD is what it is.
No, I've got a little OCD tendencies. So yeah, it's very interesting.
That's it. So it's an even number.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to shine in 24. I'm going to
hope, yeah.
bust through the door in 24.
We talked a lot about that in December, just kind of projecting to the new year, and I think
I want this show to do well.
Yeah.
I want my other shows to do well. I want good health. And this is not so easy to say, New Year's Eve premonitions, but I am I'm healthier than I've been in a minute. I got up to about 180 there about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Then got too skinny during the pandemic. I'm almost to my ideal weight. It's a good start to the year.
Well, it's a
I've got a
milestone
new
year for you.
moisturizer coming.
Yes, I saw a video. Was it Nina posted a video or something of you getting ready for something?
Yeah.
And you talked the other day about your under eye treatment and everything. And I'll be darned, you were in there in your chonas, I think, putting your stuff on. And I thought, not that I didn't believe you before.
But
I mean, as I look across at you now, I mean, you've got a great complexion, and
Thank
you've inspired me to help make better decisions. Because
good.
Lord knows I'm not at my ideal weight right now, but
Right.
But yes, as I get closer to 50 as well, I'm finding myself. Somebody asked me the other day, "Have you gotten your colonoscopy yet?" And I'm like, "No."
Oh, geez, I haven't either. Oh, geez.
But
I
this
haven't
year,
done
I'm not going to put it off any longer. So,
You gonna do it? And do it together?
Well,
Down
I'm
there together.
can we get a sponsor? No,
Have
never
on
mind.
wheel of sin. Hey man, we need money. I'll take an official colonoscopy doctor.
You're going to be accountability partners on colonoscopies.
Yeah. We could go there together. You know what's? I'm embarrassed at the thought of even though I know I'm going to be out, they make you rip a giant fart. That's what they do. That's part of the process.
All I heard is you're supposed to drink some terrible.
Yeah, to clean you out.
Okay, I was
You have
aware
the
of that.
Worst diarrhea for a couple of days. Then you go in there, although you probably feel sexy because your belly's all empty.
That's awesome.
thin.
Can't wait.
Go in there and they do something to make you like flatulate.
Can't wait.
And then they go in there and do things while you're unconscious. I need to do it too. I'm 49. I need to do that. See. So yeah, I know.
All right.
I know that I'll never have a six pack. That's a stupid goal at my age. I've never had one. Why am I going to
I
get?
don't think
I'm
I've
going to
ever
have
had
one. I'm not going to have one now, but I can maintain the ideal weight proportionately to my body type and my ribs and my bone structure.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always about portion. I believe as long as you're active and you exercise,
Right.
and it doesn't have to be go to the gym every day. It could be hiking. It could be cycling. It could be walking.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to break a sweat every day.
Yeah.
I know that I'm never going to look like Zac Efron, and I shouldn't. That's dumb. At this age where I'm at in my life, in order for me to get a body like Zac Efron, I would be so miserable. Can you imagine how miserable you'd be if you just gave up barbacoa, just never drink a glass of wine.
Among other things,
Stupid.
just bread.
And I've heard that. I've had
Sugar.
I've heard actors say this before. Like Zac Efron said this
Yes.
when he was in Baywatch,
Yes,
horrible comedy
the
where
movie,
he played a bodyguard. he was in the most ripped condition he's ever been in, and he said he was miserable for the entire shoot. He needed 3 months to get in that kind of shape, and then it was about a 6-week shoot. And so for 4 months, he was just miserable, pissy, had a headache all the time, was just irascible, and just didn't want. He was mean, and because he was in such great shape, he was sacrificing everything. He was eating tuna out of a can and drinking water, and that's it. And he was just an asshole.
Yeah, I don't know how these actors do it. Like
I don't wanna be that healthy.
McConaughey and some of these that have that play the superheroes and go back and forth.
Oh, on their weight fluctuations?
Or the body structure.
Oh, yeah, what Matt did for Dallas Buyers Club is unbelievable. And Jared Leto, what he did for that movie. Yeah, and it was McConaughey was saying that in order to get to that ridiculous skinny weight, because he plays an AIDS patient.
Yes.
It was 1 can of tuna, 1 sliver of avocado, not even half, a sliver. Like you half an avocado, and then you cut those halves in a fourth.
Yeah.
1/4 of avocado, 1 can of tuna straight out of the can with no mustard, no mayonnaise, nothing put in it, and water all day. That's it. That was his life for 2 months. Can of tuna, slice of avocado. And he was miserable. Won the Academy Award.
I mean, I guess
got
there's
paid
that.
$20 million to make the movie. For $20 million, I'd like to give it a shot.
Yeah.
But short of
I'll split with you.
Short of getting $20 million, I'm going to be miserable if I did all. Every time I know in my brain I probably shouldn't eat this donut.
Right.
But I also know I'm going to die, and
YOLO.
I'm in decent shape.
Yeah.
I am not going to sacrifice the good things in this world. Booze, mostly. That's the thing. That's the one thing I could never get. You told me, hey, man, you got to go a year and you can't eat a donut. I could do that. But you told me you have to go a full year and you can't have 1 drink of anything? No way. I'm not doing it, period. I don't want to. That's dumb. I don't want to live healthy, miserable. I'd rather have a little bit of panza, healthy and happy.
Yeah.
Happy.
No, I can't argue. I mean,
Anyways.
I guess I've been living that way for many years now. So
that's good.
So, or it's gotten me.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. So prosperous New Year, everybody. Whatever it is your goals are, I hope you reach them. Have you seen? I don't mean a non sequitur.
No, go right ahead.
I've been keeping up with this. This is a horrible story. The murder case, which happened not far from where you and I live. The 2 kids that got shot.
The Savannah Soto?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
My
I can't remember Matthew. That's his last name. That's terrible.
That's disturbing. And that's now gotten national.
Yeah. I kind of figured
he was 22.
He was
21, something like that. She's 18, 9 months pregnant,
and had lost her brother the previous year. I think Savannah's brother had been
not a good scene.
No, not at all.
In that family, and that's awful. But no one deserves to go through that.
No.
When I first heard that, I thought, oh, this kid must have done something. The
Matthew.
Man. It's always always the dude loses it. And no, they were both killed. So as we do this show today here on Tuesday, there is a mass murderer on the loose in our city who is gonna get tried for killing that baby too, because she was 9 months pregnant. That's a triple homicide in that car. Horrible, horrible, horrible. About 15 minutes from where I live. Mm-hmm. And, man, I hope the murderer is caught soon. But it's been going on a week.
It was around Christmas time.
Is that true that the first 48 hours are the most crucial? And if they don't have really great leads by then, it's going to be tough to get good leads for a while?
I mean, I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, you start to lose momentum in evidence or people don't talk or it gets forgotten in the news or whatever happens. And so,
as long as SAPD doesn't forget it, and they won't.
No.
So, and I think I don't know much. I don't know a lot about law enforcement, but I do know that they'll sit on information if they have to,
absolutely,
to protect a case. So it may not just be they've gone nowhere.
Right.
They may be on the brink of arresting the son of a bitch.
Right.
But they're not. They've chosen not to let us know that
exactly.
for reasons because they don't want to give the criminal an advantage through the media.
Right.
And so they work the media. They'll lie to the media if they have to about what they have or what they don't have, which I understand. It's unfortunate, but you have to do what you have to do to solve a murder case.
Bigger picture.
Absolutely. So anyway, I didn't mean to bring that up. I've got 4 kids. I've got a 25-year-old, a 22-year-old, and 2 soon-to-be 12-year-olds, and I just cannot imagine having that happen. So that kind of put a damper on the week before New Year's Eve.
No, and
Christmas.
mine are old
Sucked.
enough too to
Awful.
where, when they see something on the news, when they were younger, you just, let's just change the channel or let's just turn it off or whatever. But
Mhm.
they're old enough now to where they see those kinds of things. And I think one of my twins was asking me the other day if there was an update on that. She said pregnant woman's case, and you see the grandmother on TV and everything. So no, it's just a terrible situation.
I had an aunt pass away in 1987. I was 13. She was 23.
Mm-hmm.
The baby of my mom's family, who she died early. She died at 23 years old, and it was in the paper. She died of a drug overdose. But the way and the story in which how she was found in a motel had been with the wrong dipshits, and so I've kind of been through something like that as a kid.
Gosh.
And it's just the worst thing imaginable. So, but I just, as we get to the new year, it also just, we get reflective.
Absolutely.
And I want to be a better daddy, a better person, man, host, boyfriend, dog owner, all of it. Because I'm 49, man.
Oh, this is the 50s.
I'll be an old man at 60. I'll be 65 in 15 years.
Oh gosh, no. I've got a high school senior, so the 2024. I was just thinking back to when she was in kindergarten. I'll never forget. And in the cafeteria, I can still see the sign. This would have been like in 2000. I don't know, whatever it was, 9 or 10. And it said, "Welcome, class of 2024." And this is in 2009. You think, my gosh, that's in the decades from now. That seems like forever from now. And here we are.
Well,
Here we are, 2024. And so she'll be graduating here, in, God willing, in May, early June. And so
I've got goals too, unlike I've never had. Well, unlike I've had in a long time. It's been a long time since I've had such big professional goals too.
I can relate.
The new year,
I can relate.
because when I decided to go it alone with LG in June. I said this is going to be a year and a half struggle.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 18 months.
Yeah.
Ish. And so I'm going to give it this year to try to get our business where it needs to be, where it's going to be a long-term thing.
Right.
I would like it to become my only source of income. That would be amazing. And I'm going to do some things that are going to either make that happen or prove to me that it's not gonna.
Right.
Blank or get off the pot, so to speak.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and blank.
Good. No, I
I'm
think I'm starting to blank right now.
I'm going to stay on the pot.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. And then if I get to the end of this year, and it's just not, it's not viable.
Right.
And that doesn't mean I won't do it. Like let's say we decided to quit doing it every day, and in 2025 we just do it, maybe once a week for fun. If we get a sponsor, great. But I'm going to have to switch careers in 2025 if this podcast company does not go where I need it to go in the next 12 months. No pressure on you.
Yeah, Cleto, where's Cleto?
No pressure on Cleto, who's missing the first show of the new year. But for good reasons.
For good reasons.
And he didn't shard himself. I was kidding. I did that for comedic purposes. But I got 12 months here to it's like, okay, I can do this. This is my career. This is my job. Or I'm my own co-boss.
Yeah.
In my own co-company. And that's cool. We're good.
Well,
I still have to take care of my family.
Listen,
it's cool to be able to go to the dentist on occasion again.
With coverage and everything, as we talked about. You are preaching to the choir, 100%. Today, today is January 2nd. Today is the anniversary of the launch of the Fox Morning Show.
Today is. Wow.
So 18 years ago, January 2nd, 2006.
Way to bury the lead, man.
Well, listen, I wasn't going to say anything because you were talking about getting reflectory or reflective, and I was thinking today is the first January 2nd in 18 years that I'm not at the TV station. And so, I find myself kind of thinking back on, man, how crazy is that and everything. But and if you'd have told me a year ago that I'd be sitting here instead of sitting over there, I'd thought you were crazy.
Listen, this show, you conceived this show on a napkin, didn't you?
The morning show.
Yeah,
We did well. There was some napkins and there were pieces of paper. And in 2005, I was in Phoenix, and I'll never forget. It was 4th of July weekend, walking in the mall in Glendale, Arizona, with a little bitty Motorola flip phone. I had a black flip phone with a little bitty antenna you pull up, and it was like this big. And my dearly departed late great news director, Greg Kelfkin, calls me out of the blue, out of nowhere, and said that they had gotten the green light to launch this morning show. And we had joked about it for years. I'm going to launch a morning show, haha, whatever. Never happened. Well, then finally he got the green light. And he called me in the mall there in Glendale and essentially offered it to me. Didn't apply for it, didn't have a resume, didn't even know it existed.
Were you doing sports?
I was doing sports
Wow.
in Phoenix.
Yeah.
For the ABC affiliate there. I remember you had all those sports. The Diamondbacks had won the World Series in 2001. The Phoenix Suns had 5 starters that were all All-Stars.
Nash and Amari
Sean Marion and Quentin Richardson and Nash Stoudemire.
Was that weird covering the Suns when they would play the Spurs?
So I came to San Antonio. I
strange.
did. I came to San Antonio. It was one year they were in the playoffs. I think the Spurs won the whole thing. That would have been in 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was here. They sent me to San Antonio with the sports director. We came down. I remember interviewing Eva Longoria at back then it was the AT&T Center because she was on Desperate Housewives and she was
Massive.
just massive, huge. And then it was very weird because I went to Denver for the All-Star game that year in February and covered like I said, all 5 of them were All-Stars. And it was Mike D'Antoni was the coach and it was amazing basketball, but couldn't play defense.
Right. Well, Mike didn't do that.
No. And then they ran into the Spurs in the playoffs, and
That's
we know
funny.
how it all ended. But
Yeah.
so then I got a call, and my wife was pregnant at the time. We were homesick, ready to come back home. And just divine miracle intervention, I got the call, and it was a no-brainer. So we came back to San Antonio. But I always used to make fun of, in a nice way, morning show TV people. I thought they were crazy. I mean, they get up at that hour. I'll never do that because I was a sportscaster.
Sure.
So I would talking earlier about staying up till midnight. I would get off the air at 11.
You're starting your night.
I would eat dinner or go out. And in Arizona, they have casinos over there. In Phoenix.
All night food.
So it was not uncommon to, on payday especially, pick up Tammy at casino. There was a casino like 10 minutes from the house and go, blow some of your paycheck on the casino. And
Imagine that, Texas. Casinos. Where normal people go and have a good time. And
And spend a lot of money.
And spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of which goes to the taxes of the great state of Arizona.
So
And nothing bad happened. And Arizona's still there. Just saying. Anyway.
And they don't observe daylight saving time either.
No, they don't.
In Arizona.
Imagine that, Texas. And they're still there. And somehow the state of Arizona continues. Anyway.
So no. So we enjoyed our time there. We 4-hour drive to Vegas and we go to San Diego or the Grand Canyon or LA but no, it was time to come back home. So yes, we came back home and we got together. Kimberly Crawford was my co-anchor and we got some paper together and conceived that show.
Dang, man.
And it was 2.5 hours back then, and it was a lead into, I'll never forget, we were the lead into the cartoon Trolls. So we would sign off at 8:30 in the morning and say, all right, that's all for now. Stay tuned for Trolls right here on Fox San Antonio.
So were there any news stations in town doing morning shows at that time?
They were all doing them.
Okay, just
Yeah,
you got that.
we were
that
the last
station.
ones.
Okay,
We were the
Fox was
last ones to the
ones.
party.
Yeah, that was also we do 9 o'clock only, and we don't have a 10 o'clock.
That's exactly
which
right.
obviously they've changed that too.
So they were not doing lifestyle shows back then. And so when we launched, we were only 2.5 hours long. We were from 6 a.m. to 8:30.
Okay.
Then Trolls came on, and that was it. We were done with our day. We would go shoot stuff for the next day or whatever.
That's cool.
Then they made it 6 to 9. Then it became 5 to 9. Then they added daytime, and then they added the 11 a.m. midday show.
Now it's wall to wall.
And now there's a lot more stuff.
Yep. And you're sitting here with me. How about that? I wonder if I could name all 5 of those. So all 5 of the Phoenix Sun starters made the All-Star team.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
That
They
year.
were all there. I remember because Quentin Richardson.
This is 05.
Quentin Richardson was in the 3-point contest. I remember that.
Quentin Richardson, Steve Nash,
Yes.
Sean Marion,
Yes.
Amari Stoudemire.
Yes. And
Who am I leaving out? Don't tell me. Okay.
God.
Okay. Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Quentin Richardson, Sean Marion. I'm missing a power forward.
hold on a second. Now I'm drawing a
They
blank.
may not have.
Mike D'Antoni was the coach.
Okay, he may not have had
And
a
I
center.
think Steve Nash won the MVP.
He won it twice
back to back.
Yeah, he did.
So they had, I remember, Leandro Barbosa.
Barbosa, that's it. Leandro Barbosa from Brazil.
And they also
That's
had
it.
Joe Johnson. Remember Joe Johnson?
He was good.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Especially
that was a good team, and they threatened the Spurs.
they had.
And the people in Arizona say, he hadn't slammed Steve into the damn scorers table, we would have beaten San Antonio.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
But they didn't, and history is what it is.
Yes, I remember that was a
Gosh,
lot
those
of
were
fun.
times. I was in Dallas in that time at 05, and I was covering the Mavs.
Yeah.
And so they had rivalry with the Suns as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's back when the West was the Lakers, the Suns, the Spurs, and the Mavericks were all really, really good. And those were some great playoff series in those days. Man, some great ones. I'm trying to fall back in love with the NBA. It's been hard.
No, I totally
love
get
Wemby,
it.
but the league, like I don't know the league like I used to. Like I can tell you, I just rattled off 7 guys that played for the Suns 20 years ago.
I used to be
I
able to
can't tell
name
you
all of the
5
head
Suns
coaches.
now. Can you tell me the 5 Suns starters now?
No, I cannot.
God, no. I can tell you some of them. KD.
No.
Chris Paul left. He's a
Chris
he's a
Paul
warrior.
left, yeah.
Devin Booker. He's good.
Devin Booker. Who's the coach? Like I said, I used to be able to name all the head coaches.
Oh, the coach of the Spurs? Oh, the Suns?
Suns.
Now? I have forgotten. They had Monty Williams.
Right.
And
He went to Detroit,
The Pistons
right?
gave him $80 million a year to go to there and go 2 and whatever he is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man, I can't do it.
No. I used to be able to name all the arenas, the names of the arenas, and the
Sponsors,
coaches
yeah.
and all that stuff.
Assistants.
Yeah, you could
I
recognize.
even knew assistants.
But
I knew half the referees' names.
that's true.
Now I don't. I know a couple, and I don't remember them until I watch a game. Oh, yeah, I know. That's Billy Kennedy. I know him.
Yeah.
Even the referees were rock stars in those days.
Sure.
Steve Javy.
This hair and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Our boy Joey Crawford.
Ed T. Rush or whatever.
Ed T. Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Golly. The
Back
old
in
man.
the-
What was the old man? He looked like he was 150 years old.
I know who you're talking about.
Well, he's dead now.
He'd
He
run
looked
around.
like he was 100 years old.
Yes.
Dick Bavetta.
Dick Bavetta. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Zach Zarba.
Yeah.
There was a referee with a really super Italian name that everybody hated.
Well, the guy who was the referee.
Bennett Salvatore.
Bennett Salvatore. Who's
God,
the
he
referee
sucked.
who got into gambling and got into trouble?
Tim Donaghy. Who was
yeah.
a very prominent referee in the
Yeah.
NBA.
Yeah.
Golly. Yeah, I was heavily involved in the NBA
So,
in those days.
yeah, it's a
now
different-
I'm trying.
It's different.
I'm trying. And the Spurs being horrible doesn't help.
No.
It's basically, I just call him Wemby now. Wemby plays Memphis tonight.
Well, when you have,
He's the only
if
thing I
he's
care about.
playing, that's
I
if
think he's
playing.
good to go tonight.
Well, but I'm saying like you have that, and I could not believe when the Spurs, and the Pistons lost 28 in a row or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That I would just think the law of averages would kick in at some point. Like a professional basketball team
Yeah.
cannot lose. Like you couldn't even try to lose 28 games in a row.
They were not trying, they say.
Yeah, no. I watched a couple of those games at the end. Like they would break in on NBA TV or whatever, or ESPN would break in and they would say, "Oh, it's the fourth quarter and it's a 2-point game and is the streak over?" And I would flip over. And again, I couldn't name 3. I probably couldn't name 2 Detroit Pistons, but it didn't look like they were not trying.
Right.
So
I actually have tickets for Thursday night's game. I'm looking forward to it. They play, the Wembies play. I'm calling them the Wembies. No one else deserves to be with him. Until we get new people, it's just the Wembies. We've got tickets to the Milwaukee game. So
nice.
Lillard, Giannis
Antetokounmpo
is in town. So I look forward to that. But I was into the league so much more than, I was in 05, I was in Dallas. I was a little grunt reporter covering everything that they made me do. I'm talking about late nights. Those were the days where I was getting home at god-awful hours because it's like, well, go cover the game.
Uh-huh.
Then in those days, kids, we had to take all the tape we got,
Yes.
all the sound, and then drive back to the station,
Right.
load it into the system,
Yep.
and then edit it all night.
Uh-huh.
So it'd be 2 a.m.
Sure.
before I got out of work.
Sure.
Some nights for an early game, I might get out of there at midnight. So it's like, well, I'm all wired up.
Yeah.
Now let's go grab a beer,
Right.
I'm not
I
getting
can't
home till
picture
2.
you doing any kind of editing or
I know.
anything technical with loading anything.
I know. Well, I since that equipment, I've not learned any new equipment, as you might have, as you know.
Okay.
So your job is safe, LG.
So if I busted out a reel to reel, you could work dreams with it.
I think so. Yeah, I can
Okay,
splice tape.
all right.
In those days, we used what was called a Marantz.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, it looked like a little radio.
Okay.
And it had straps, and you just carried it like a purse. And it
Yeah.
was rectangular
Oh,
shape.
sure.
And it had these little tiny mini cassettes in there, and that's what you put the tape on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a mini disc. We had mini disc recorders at the station.
Yes.
So you go and pop it in there and load it into the computer, and then digitally edit it. And I was really good at it, LG. Very good at it.
Sure.
I'm a 3-time Katie Award winner, best sportscast in the
Wow.
great state of Texas, for doing sportscast on ESPN Radio at News Talk 820 WBAP. I was just a reporter, not a talk show host. I was lowly, crap paid, get all the crappy assignments.
Cut your teeth.
Go cover the Mavs versus Clippers in the middle of the winter in February. Go watch the 20-55 Rangers play the Mariners and go get tape for us. And stay up all night cutting tape. Go get the SMU coaches luncheon, stuff like that up in the
good
metros.
times,
Yeah,
good
good time. But I was a kid and I
Gosh.
was young and trying to make it in this stupid business. And now here I am doing all I can to kick myself out of the business. No, I'm trying to succeed doing something different within this business this
No,
year.
we're all
That's the
exactly
goal. I wanna
reinventing
stay in it,
ourselves.
but in a different way. And if I can't, am I open to going back to an old school station? Yes, but it needs to hurry if it's going to happen. But I'm in no hurry. I'm not out looking.
Right.
I'm not looking to move. And you can't mess with my podcasts. I'm not going to sign a contract. You're going to have to overpay me. You're going to have to let me be me. And so the odds of that are not good. So I'm going to have to make this podcast thing work, or I'll be teaching, or gosh knows what. Driving a truck.
Hey, knock on wood.
Yeah,
Knock
yeah.
on wood.
It's
We'll
going to
figure it
work.
out.
It's gonna
I
work,
was
I think.
speaking of reel to reel and editing and everything. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm actively looking right now. Just if you have, I need a DVC Pro deck that I can
Okay.
borrow for like a week
To make
I
a
have-
demo?
No. I have like probably 50 or 60 DVC Pro tapes in my closet right now at home with years and years of interviews. I think I told you I had this conversation the other day. My son asked me. My son's into like Jordan and a little bit of like NBA stuff. He asked me about Kobe Bryant's name came up, and he said, "Dad, did you ever interview Kobe?" I was like, "Yeah, I interviewed Kobe many times." And the look on his face was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And I talked to Shaq and LeBron and all those, when they were, of course, much younger in their careers.
Yeah.
And I said, "You see that box of tapes sitting in my back of my closet?" I said, "One of these days, if I can ever find a DVC Pro machine,
Oh, you need to be able to play them.
I want to be able to digitize them or to
Oh,
to
cool.
watch them and then save the clips just for
How does he do that, LG? How can he
posterity."
I'm not sure.
I
I
gotta
was
find-
looking it up because I have some random decks at home, but I don't think I have a DVC Pro.
Yeah, the
I have
little-
a mini DV.
They're the little black tapes with the yellow ribbon on the top.
It's not the same as mini DV, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. I have a mini DV deck. I have a Betamax deck.
I got some beta tapes.
Yeah.
I got 3/4 inch tapes too that are
Okay.
like this big at home.
I don't have that.
I need
But,
to see 05 Ernie doing sports
nice.
in Phoenix.
In Phoenix.
Yeah.
You should bring some clips to the tape.
Diamondbacks,
Run 'em right
Rockies.
here.
Slick back hair,
Slick back.
slick back.
Okay, yeah.
Four button suits.
Yes, sir.
With the collar was up here at the top.
Chingon.
But yeah, that was spending many days watching Suns practice. Wayne Gretzky was coaching the Phoenix Coyotes.
Yes, there were some heated rivalries
Loved
between
that.
the Coyotes and the Dallas Stars when I was
And
covering
then
the sports.
I
in the
will
Metro
tell you,
Centers.
I was there when Pat Tillman died.
Oh, wow.
And that was one of those days I'll never forget. And for people who don't know, Pat Tillman was the former Arizona Cardinals player. They were the Phoenix Cardinals or the Arizona Cardinals. He left a multi-million-dollar football contract to enlist in the military right after 9/11, and of course was killed. And he's an icon in Phoenix, a sports icon, and his number was retired. And he went to Arizona State.
Yeah.
But I was there when he was killed.
Wow.
That was wall-to-wall coverage, and I remember like I was in the shower and my wife got me. There's the station's on the phone, and it was one of those days.
Did you see his brother's speech at the funeral?
Yeah,
You ever seen clips of that?
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Brutal.
yeah, all of that.
Goes up there with a beer and a T-shirt. Like, my brother's dead. This is stupid. He hated that pageantry and how the military trumped it up, and
Yeah,
the politicians show up, act like they've known him for years, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Dude, my brother's dead."
But
that's just brutal because this guy's just mourning his brother, and
yeah, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
All of it was terrible, but
kind of badass.
So it was a crazy
brutal.
time to be there in Arizona,
yeah.
just with the sports landscape and everything that was happening, and but some amazing memories. But yes, if I can ever find a DVC Pro machine, I will be happy to show you some of those things.
There are no Taylor Sports Center casts anywhere.
What?
Nothing. No sports. Like I wouldn't even know where to look at it. The station that I worked at in those days is now defunct, which I knew it would be because they had a shitty direction.
Yeah.
They had gold in the palms of their hands and they crapped it away.
No way.
You know, it's funny because I went in. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get off on that trail, but the station's defunct. I think they play church music now.
Oh.
And I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Trying to find old tapes of me doing Sports Center on the radio. No video, obviously.
Well,
I wish.
We have people watching on Facebook right now. If any of you have old TV equipment lying around in your storage unit or whatever.
Let me throw this out. So I lost a lot of stuff when I left the ticket.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the phrase is last year in 23.
Yes,
a lot of cool drops, a lot of great segments and stuff. And people, if there's anyone out there that knows how to get a hold of the lightning strike segment where I almost got killed on the air.
What?
Send that to me. We had a listener who lives up in Round Rock.
Okay.
Who used to record our show because he couldn't listen to it live because of his job. So he would record it on his own time with his own stuff. He would go back and listen to shows like the next day or that night.
Oh, wow.
This was pre-DVD.
Pre-Spotify,
pre-Spotify.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
And he happened to have a copy of the Lightning Strike segment and sent it to us a couple of years ago. And, of course, I've left the ticket, and I don't know what happened to it again. Yeah, me and Jim Bob Brazil,
who's him.
Now the news director of the NBC station in Corpus.
Yes.
JB and I were out at Wolf Stadium, and we were out there doing the show before the game. And I thought, I told the engineers, we got big weather coming. The game's probably going to get rained out.
Yeah.
No, we've already told the missions were coming. We got to start because it's, okay, cool. So we get out there. It's 4:00. The clouds already look ominous. And I'm like, we need to be in the press box then. No, they had to set up on the concourse out in the open.
Oh, no.
I'm like, okay. We're right there where you walk into the gate.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like, okay, it's going to rain, guys. Oh, sure enough, the sky's just open, and it's thunder, and it's lightning, and we're plugged into a bunch of outlets, and they're not protected.
Surge protectors, none of that.
And so there was a light pole literally right here behind us. And lightning struck the top of that light pole, and the sound and the reverberation that it made down the light pole, we thought we were dead. It was on the air.
Oh.
I just stayed on the air and played with it and just played along with it. And it was ridiculous. All the cords were underwater. This is, remember Gonzo Salazar? Gonzo was one of the worst engineers in the history of sports talk radio. I love the guy, but damn, he got better as the years went. He went into television. Mm-hmm. The last I heard, Gonzo actually was like the chief engineer, like Univision in Houston.
Oh wow!
Yeah, okay. He's blown up. But in those days he was in a developmental phase in his career. And he almost got us killed. But anyway, stuff like that just gets lost when you leave the job. I was at the ticket for 16 years, and we have all this gold that I somehow need to get some hands on some of the classic stuff because we want to bring it back to this show. We want to move on and reinvent, but I've got some classics that need to never die.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Well,
so if anybody's got some old stuff from me out there, send it my way because I may not have it.
Let us know. Well, we thank everybody for watching. We appreciate it. We're off and running now here in 2024, and many thanks again to Integrity Roofing and Siding and Ronnie and Stephanie Suarez, their continued support. Our goal is to bring on more sponsors and grow the audience, so if you guys can indulge us and let us know if you or your business or anybody's interested in hopping on board the 3 Cents podcast train.
Indeed.
In the new year. We would love to have you, and I know I speak for Coletto as well when I say that. So we will leave it there for now. We have much more to get to. We'll be right back here on Thursday for show number 2 of 2024. But until then, for Mike Taylor, LG, and Coletto Rodriguez, who's in an undisclosed location right now, he'll be back soon. I'm Ernie Zuniga. We'll see you next time.
$3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.